All right, we'll be starting. Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to the WitchHunt Bootcamp, Youngsters in the Frontier of AI. This is Yasmin, a final year engineering graduate from Bangalore, and I'll be your host for the day. Today is just not the beginning of a boot camp. Today is the beginning of a movement where youngsters across India step forward, not just as learners, but as builders, innovators, and problem solvers. As the legendary scientist Marie Curie once said, nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. And today we begin understanding, building, the future with artificial intelligence. Witch Hunt is one of the largest women led, youngster led AI hackathon, building scalable solutions across education, climate action, healthcare, and smart cities. Witch Hunt empowers women, youngsters, and girls across India to build practical, scalable AI solutions that address real challenges in education, climate action, healthcare, and smart cities. The program combines mentorship, workshops, and cutting edge resources to help the teams progress from prototype to pilot, creating measurable impact in critical social sectors. Beyond the hackathon, Witch Hunt is a movement championing diversity in tech and proving that when women lead in AI, innovation thrives. Registrations for Witch Hunt closed on March 8, 2026, and the response has been phenomenal. We have received 6,151 registrations from across India, forming 1,953 teams. That means thousands of ideas, thousands of innovators, and thousands of solutions waiting to be built. Witch Hunt empowers women, girls, and youth across India to build scalable AI solutions addressing real world challenges in the sectors of education, climate action, healthcare, smart cities. And who knows, the next breakthrough idea would come from someone in this very boot camp today. To officially kickstart today's event, let us begin with the welcome message and agenda for the day because every great journey begins with clarity and purpose. And today we set the stage for an incredible journey ahead. To set the context for today's powerful initiative and share the larger version behind Witch Hunt, I invite the founder of HopeWorks Foundation, Ms. Jacintha, to guide us through the vision and onboarding for this incredible initiative.
Thank you, Yasmin. And the very fact that you are doing the introduction and giving the message for girls and women across India to come together to truly don the hat of being innovators, I think is actually just the message of Witch Hunt and the mission of HopeWorks Foundation, right? 6 years of HopeWorks Foundation has only tried across the 14 chapters in India to try and enable girls and women to believe in the power of their own dreams and never to fear anything that stops them from believing that they are completely capable and they can go ahead and solve the problems that really loom in front of them. The idea behind Witch Hunt started almost a year ago. I remember speaking to my colleague Sanjay and saying, while the world seems to be embracing AI, even with fear or without fear, we need to ensure that our girls are in the front lines of those who not just embrace AI, but work with AI and probably lead with AI in a few short years. I'm reading a lot of literature, and my esteemed colleagues Varsha and Chitra will, I'm sure, agree with me today that we don't know yet what the frontiers really mean. We have no idea. We just know that the change is brewing and the change is happening very quickly, which means we should build a set of girls and women who are huge in terms of adaptability, right? That they will lead the change. Witch Hunt is about leading that change. From 6 months ago to where we are today is itself an achievement for us. to put together a boot camp, which we were discussing about 6 weeks ago, and make it a reality today, shows when women come together along with men, both collaborate, and we create an opportunity to really, really make a success of whatever we pick up as endeavors in front of us. I think the world is going to benefit. So, Witch Hunt is not just about women, it's not just about AI. It is really about opening an opportunity to solve problems collaboratively. And how best can we do this? 6,000 participants across India. They may not have never met each other. They don't know each other. Yet they come together as a collective and a community of problem solvers to look at problems in the eye. Because for me, courage above all is an important value to practice. You've got to be courageous because the world is anyway intended to make you scared. And then you say, can I take a shot at solving this problem, which believes that you have the capacity to solve problems, right? And the last one is, I can work with anybody in this universe, just about anybody, and really reach out to them and really solve the problems. These three things are fundamental to how we designed Witch Hunt. People who don't know each other, but we all live and thrive in the same universe will come together because they have a passion for solving problems. They have the courage to look at the problem in the eye. And three, believe in their capacity to solve the problem collaboratively. And this is not about dividing the universe men versus women. This is for me men with women, right? This is not about technology versus somebody else because we have three categories of participants who have registered from what I have seen of data, right? 4,000 plus engineering grads, 1,500 plus arts and science and other streams, and about another few hundred from the management stream. It tells me that the world is heading towards a place where we are not divided, but really, really united in solving the problems that human beings face just as a common set of people. And I do believe Witch Hunt will bring together a lot of people, initiate a lot of conversations because conversations spark dialogues. Dialogues spark focus. Focus spark an effort to solve some problems. And effort builds solution. For me, this boot camp and all the other learning interventions, of course, is that conversation starter. If we can come together and just discuss that we have a problem, can we solve it? We've, of course, chosen 4 tracks, and Yasmin has mentioned the 4 tracks. All of these 4 tracks are very important for women in particular and everybody in general. We have to focus on this. Everybody has been complaining the past 2, 3 weeks that this summer looks like the hottest summer. I was speaking to somebody yesterday and they were telling me, and they're in climate action space, and they were saying every year is going to be the coolest year that you have experienced, which means the next year is going to be hotter. The following year is going to be probably even hotter, which means we really are facing some life altering situations in front of us. And it is upon us to solve these problems so that the generations that really, really come after us can experience the beauty of the universe that some of us may have experienced, right? Of course, some of us with all the gray hair are far ahead of the curve, but just seeing how climate change itself is affecting us, I can say for a fact that we can do better. We can solve problems. We really need to do it. We need to commit to doing it. And today is the beginning of that commitment that we come together, we learn. We may not know everything, which is the best place to be. And therefore, we learn from experts whom Varsha and team have so beautifully put together, listen to them and understand what we don't currently fully understand, lean in on each other to really take the steps forward together. And last but not the least, spark conversations that will lead to a dialogue that will lead to understanding of problems, and an understanding of problems that will lead to collaborative problem solving. That is the nutshell of what we are trying to do at Witch Hunt. I'm super grateful to everyone who's joined here today. And this team that has come together, believe me, you, all of them are people who give their time generously and freely. It probably is the most important asset all of us have. For my team to give it so freely is an honor in itself. So thank you so much, team. Yasmin, over to you. I hope I've done justice to the extraordinary introduction that you gave. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you, Miss Jacinta. I think courage above all should be the thought for the day. That was an amazing kickstart to a powerful day. So, I believe every great challenge needs a roadmap. So, next up, to walk us through the hackathon structure, milestones, and what lies ahead, I invite Miss Chitra, Chair of Witch Hunt, to take us through the hackathon overview. She'll be joining us soon. I think she has some network issues, so just give us a minute. Participants, are you all excited for what lies ahead throughout the next few months? Can you drop a yes if you're excited on the chat box? Have you started building your prototypes? How's it going? Wow, so many yes coming around. That is great. That I believe is the power of the participants participating in a hackathon. Great. Wow. Amazing. Hope these 2 days would be of great use to you. We have experts coming from all the four fields, and you all will love them. Make sure all the participants, like your group members, would join so that they get benefited. Great, great. Loving the energy on the chat box. Just give us a moment. Great. A query from Deepika, ma'am, my teammate is facing an issue to log in. So can you just ask your teammate to check this spam folder on email and just try connecting it back?
Hi, everyone.
Yes,
Am I
we've got
audible?
Chitra. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Yasmin. And apologies to all the participants. While we rely on technology a lot, uh, we still have some ways to go with it. A very, very warm welcome to all the participants of Witch Hunt. Very excited, very privileged to have worked with a fantastic team from HopeWorks and all volunteers, mentors, partners who have joined us in this great, great, great venture of ours. So give me a second here, right? All right. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Chitra.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So what is this hackathon, this 12 weeks going to look like? right? This is what we hope it is for all our participants, right? When we said witch hunt, right? A hunt is a quest, it's a pursuit, it's a journey, it's in the hope of finding something, right? And what is our it's a great place today with Google Maps, with all kinds of maps, with satellites hovering in the sky that have mapped every corner of the earth. We really don't have a dearth of maps. I just am reminded of how explorers, people who wanted to know once they discovered that, hey, the earth is actually round and you can go around it. How did they navigate? Right? For the longest time, sailors sailed from the west along the western coast of India in the hope of being close to land and not being lost at sea. Today, we have maps that have mapped every corner of the earth, every inch of the seas and the oceans that enable ships, enable transport, enable explorers, enable everything. So we here at HopeWorks have laid out a quest map for all the witch hunt participants, which is a combination of learning, because we have so much technology around us, which is changing at a phenomenal rate. So how much learning can one do? How much can one know about? But it's not only about technology and AI. We have 4 pillars, 4 key themes that we chose for the Witch Hunt Hackathon uh, to reinforce what Jacintha said, because we strongly believe that when people come together, problems in this space and for our country can actually be solved, leaving a better future for people. So our learning actually focuses around the domain as well as technology. We have experts who have volunteered with us, who have partnered with us to help all participants understand what are the problem spaces in the 4 pillars that we have chosen for this hackathon: education, health, smart cities, and climate action. Another unique feature, apart from learning, in this hackathon is the presence and availability of mentors to all teams to enable shaping of the problem discovery itself, how the solution can be designed, um, exploring experimentation alongside learning while you build your proof of concept. Okay, so this is what the next 12 weeks would look like. What kind of learning? Right? This is something I am so proud of sharing about this hackathon, which is unique, very, very unique. I have not come across any hackathon that has offered learning as part of the whole process of building, of defining a solution, discovering the problem statement, building a proof of concept. Um, this is a first, at least for me. And we hope that the learning that's offered around the Witch Hunt Hackathon will be utilized. We are very, very grateful to have learning partners with us who are enabling this for all of our participants. So the learning is actually focused around 2 topics, right? One, with respect to the domain itself, because societal problems around these 4 pillars, while we may assume we have an understanding of it, they're actually quite difficult to understand because these are large ecosystems. Whether you take health, health for 1.7 billion people, what does that look like, right? Education, again, for all, 300, 400 million children in this country. What does living in cities look like when by 2050, 51% of India's population is expected to be living in cities? For those that are living in cities and calling in from large cities, you see what is happening around you within the city that you live in. How do we build resilient cities? And just like Jacintha said, every year is going to get hotter, right? So how do we look for sustainable climate action solutions that perhaps would help us um, find out more resilient crops that can grow under such circumstances? We are already seeing mangoes in the market. Where did those come from? We usually never saw mangoes, before April or May, right? We are seeing seasons, produce, um, everything that we consume which is changing. We can't fall back to the earlier patterns of predictability, things that our forefathers knew instinctively and handed down to us, and what we had expected and was happening till even 10 years ago with a regularity, with seasonality. Uh, we have to be able to understand the problems in these spaces for which we have experts who, starting today with this boot camp, will help all of our participants understand the problems in these areas. We have 6 weeks of fantastic learning across a diverse set of topics. Now, while we understand the problems in each of these spaces, what does it take? What are the tools available to you so that you can help to put these solutions together? We have a fantastic partner, Infosys Springboard platform, where we have curated a special set of courses to help you get started. These courses are focusing around design thinking and problem solving, fundamentals on AI and AI tools, and I want to emphasize all of the courses there are meant for everyone. You don't have to worry if you've never coded anything in your life. There is a pathway for anybody to get started, right? All of this learning is available once you register with the Springboard platform, and it is self-paced learning. You learn at your own pace. You pick the topics of your choice. Let's say as a team, you feel that one particular topic is good for the team. Bond together, come together, learn it together. Or learning together is always more fun than learning by yourself, right? And we also are going to have solutions on how to use public data. You know, there are large number of movements across the country where public data is being captured and made available to people freely to solve problems. I can think of an example of a platform like Kaggle, which started about 10 years ago with the fundamental idea of making data sets that represent different problem statements. Like I remember seeing data sets which were trying to assess how many trees were being cut every year in a particular city. And that information was used to develop solutions to tell the city corporators about where they needed to plant trees so that the climate of the city could be sustained. It wouldn't get heated up as much. Trees would be there because they're an essential part of the ecosystem to enable the cycle of oxygen and carbon dioxide availability, right? Which are very simple things that we learned as children in school. So these data, how do we use these data sets? Where do we find them? What kind of problems that they can be used to solve? And there will be more sessions on theme topics as well. So mentorship is something that I would say has tremendously helped me in my life. I've had and been helped by many, many mentors. This is something that all of us here at HopeWorks thought was very, very essential for all teams to have, right? Access to someone who can be a thought partner to you while you build these solutions. Someone who can very unbiasedly, without any judgment, uh, help you with questions, who in turn you can ask questions as well, right? So we invite all participants to make the most of the interactions with your mentors. And if there are any mentors in this call, this is your opportunity to also pay it forward to all our participants, right? And we're very, very thankful to everyone who has signed up as a mentor. This will be a fantastic opportunity to work with participants from all over the country. Okay? And I really loved this quote. I think it ties in with essentially what HopeWorks stands for is a mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. Right? So here is a snapshot of what the 12 weeks are going to look like. Right? Shortly, all teams will be mapped with a mentor. Okay. Please take the dates mentioned here as indicative only. They may shift, not by much, but just by a few days. Okay. While we try to get everybody moving along the 12 weeks. Um, the Y'all can read over here in terms of what it takes to get from ideation and problem definition to submission of your proof of concept. Okay. Again, emphasizing that there are learning sessions for 6 weeks between 21st of March to 30th of April every weekend for 2 hours on a Saturday and 2 hours on a Sunday. Please stay tuned for those. During the week, you have access to the Infosys Springboard platform for any kind of courses that you want to take. Okay. 13th and 14th of June is when we hope to have our hackathon finale where we announce winners and have specially curated talks by experts again on those days. Stay tuned for more on that program. Why did we design the witch hunt like this? You heard Jacintha say this is probably a lot of that being repeated as well. But we also very strongly believed that we developed the witch hunt in this manner so that everybody is able to participate and do our bit to find those problems that can leave us with a better future, right? And it doesn't matter what is your background. I think the only criteria we have is that you have to be above the age of 18. Other than that, it is open to everyone, right? Which means that, I always believe that more diversity in thinking and collaboration, something magical will emerge, right? This is a fantastic opportunity to understand challenges that our society and country faced around these 4 pillars. And with having AI now, and I believe that this stage of AI is the best because nobody knows what it can really do. Nobody knows what it really can't do. So it is fantastically open for experimentation and learning. So use it. Use it with the intent of how we can create solutions for these kind of problems that we have. And more importantly, how can these solutions reach everybody, right? And I want to emphasize that everybody's participation makes a difference. When I read this statement by Kalpana Chawla, who was the first Indian woman in space, and she said, if you want to do something, what does it matter where you're ranked? You know, how many marks you have scored, or how well you're doing, etc., etc. It is just a participation, I am sure, which is going to make a tremendous difference, right? And these are 4 points which struck me around the 4 themes, which was we're all going to be living in cities, looks like that. 50% of the population is. We're seeing a lot of infrastructure crumble, a lot of people who work for the city being strained because they don't seem to have any space to move around. Yet, there are so many people and organizations that are trying to find solutions to make our city livable. Let's be a part of that, right? How do we get healthcare solutions or diagnostics or medicines or basic healthcare to everybody and anybody, right? Um, Again, I spoke about this earlier. What are solutions that can help us adapt and tolerate extreme weather events, you know? So how do we look at enabling and getting people to adopt technology in every nook and corner of the country so that they can learn in their own way? Like, I don't believe that education has to be driven only by a syllabus. It can be learned through multiple ways. And today we have ways and means of getting there through technology, through people, through solutions, through so many things. Right? So with this, and on behalf of the entire HopeWorks team here, who's put in nights of effort, days and nights of effort to make this happen, I am so excited. Thank you all for being part of this. I can't wait to see what the next 12 weeks will unravel for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chitra. That was quite a good overview of Witch Hunt. Participants, I hope you're excited and waiting for the journey ahead. Now that we have seen the journey ahead, the next question is, how do we make the most of this opportunity? To share expectations from participants and tips on how to truly leverage this experience, I invite co-chair of Witch Hunt, Ms. Varsha, to share how to make the most of Witch Hunt 2026. Over to you, Ms. Varsha.
Thank you, Yasmin. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, all good.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you, Jacintha and Chitra for setting that ground. I'm personally very, very excited. This is first time for me to kind of interact with so many youngsters across India coming from multiple cities. And just to give you context and to feel proud about, Jacinta mentioned we have about 6,000 plus registrations across 600 plus cities, and urban and tier 2, tier 3 city distribution is more or less kind of similar, which is very heartening, very exciting that it's reached so many people. So thanks for all of you, those who have joined. And this is where now your hunt begins. Hunt of what are the problems around us? Hunt about what are the solutions, directions that different diverse people can think about. Use different mechanisms to solve them. Technology and AI will be one of them, but there are multiple other ways. How do you, right? And we'll get there. How all you can, what all you can do to kind of, make your problems more meaningful and solutions more meaningful as well, right? So as you start from your ideas to create more and more impact in four social sectors that we have chosen, here are the ground rules. So Chitra already mentioned why this hackathon matters, because primarily challenges that we see around in the society are so complex, so evolving, and there are multiple things that play a role in it, right? Individuals play a role, government plays a role, market plays a role, society plays a role. They're so complex and evolving constantly, right? What my generation saw in my childhood versus what you as youngsters are observing, there is a vast difference, and that pace of change is advancing so fast, right? So technology definitely cannot solve them alone. Most important is, apart from technology, you have to have empathy to understand problems around what is a pain other people are going through, and apply your creativity to see how meaningful impact you can create. So this is a platform to basically spot the problems, explore your ideas, build the prototypes and create solutions. And most important, as Chitra also was saying, participation in this is very, very important. Where you are and what opportunity you have, make a maximum use of it. So what are you going to do as participants? You are, I mean, already have lot of creativity. You have lot of things around you to kind of leverage. Use your innovative spirit, use your problem solving capability. Important is, in this game, right, when you are developing solutions for such complex, diverse problems, one cannot solve it alone. You always need to have different people bringing in different capabilities, right? And hence collaboration is very, very important. So you are going to co-create, collaborate, learn from each other, and kind of start your journey towards being a social change maker, right? So what you're going to do over the next 3 to 4 months has a potential to really influence real world impact, right? But important note below is, most meaningful innovation is one that reaches the most vulnerable. No point in doing something which helps you and maybe your friends or surrounding system, but it is going beyond people who really need it, right? Keep that lens always on. So your journey is just beginning. So over next phase, and Chitra laid out very beautifully the overall roadmap that you all will be going through. So you will start with identifying and understanding social problem around it. Choose your domain, out of the four that we have, kind of brought forward: education, healthcare, smart cities, and climate action. Each of them has tons of problems you already must be seeing. Uh, you brainstorm with each other, your teams, find out approaches, learn, collaborate with each other. Most important is, personally, I always believe that your ability to learn improves when you ask questions. Ask as many questions and don't worry about whether it's a right or wrong. Asking question opens up one's mind, right? To look for what you don't know. Because sometimes answering to what you know is easy, but asking meaningful questions to what you don't know gives a very, very different perspective to people who are around you. So, and that gives you an opportunity to learn from each other as well, right? We are going to get as much as possible data sets, and we are going to have tomorrow end of day session from AI for India on how you can leverage data from their data dam platform, right? So it's important to make your problem statements or even solution approach data based, right? You apply your intuition, get the data analysis right, and then help strengthening your problem statement. Then go ahead and build prototype solution, reiterate, go in iterative manner, testing, iterating, refining, and kind of seeing if you are able to see what you are trying to produce. Leverage your mentors around, right, to kind of bounce off your ideas, bounce off your solution approach. We are lining up huge amount of mentors because we already have 6,000 candidates and close to about 1,800 teams already, right? And for each of you, we are going to kind of assign mentors, leverage them to your advantage. And most important is getting the experience, right? It's not about winning or losing. The whole thing next 4 months that you are going to get exposure to, leverage to the maximum. Of course, in this process, you are going to use technology, you are going to use AI, but look at AI as a leverage point. It's not, kind of just incorporating AI, but the purpose of AI go beyond automation, right? How do you improve human efficiency and amplify what human potential it is today? So I think that's more important. Getting and tuning your mental orientation there is very, very important. And always remember, whatever problem you are choosing, you are defining, understand the context of the problem, because we are obviously going to assess your solution approach and the prototypes based on what you are building, but also how have you understood the problem? How are you defining your problem? Who are the actors or personas that are involved? Who are you trying to make this difference to? Are these individuals? Are there institutions? Is there government system that is embedded and hence you are trying to approach that or suggest improvement in that? Or who are the other social entities? Understand the problem holistically, because your juries are going to look at not only AI and tech solution, but how have you well defined the problem, looking at holistic surrounding around it, right? So understand interactions between them. So if there are individuals, if it's a problem with a social sector, with a say education sector, and access to 200 million students across India to right education, it's still a problem for us. So what does that mean? Is that a problem at urban sector? Is that a problem at rural sector? Is there distance an issue? Is there facility an issue? Is there availability of teacher in issue? What is the issue? Who are the players involved? How do they interact with each other? It's very important to understand, and that will widen your perspective about the problem as well, right? So are there any conflicts between those, and hence certain process is running slow? What constraints do they exist, and what potential opportunities that you have, which you can leverage to kind of improve and modify? What is scarce in terms of resources? So how do you optimize them? And whereas what is abundant? So to give you an example, if somebody needs to say work on healthcare access, right? I mean, today in rural areas, remote areas, reaching healthcare is a problem, right? So real healthcare resources is a scarcity, but what is abundant? You have in India, we have our large population is actually one of the solution. So you have ASHA workers, health workers, you have first mile practitioners who are existing in those remote areas. Will be important to see how do you leverage that abundancy to solve your problem, right? So start looking at from those lenses. Also very important to understand the emotions of people, their needs, and certain behaviors. Why certain actors behave in a certain way? Is there a demographic constraint? Is there a geographic constraint? Is there an economical constraint? Or are there legalities involved? Hence, people behave differently. It's very, very important to all those aspects when you are defining a problem, right? So frame your problem statement to at least cover three these aspects. Who are you trying to solve this for? To change what in their life? And what will it impact? How many people it will impact? What you are trying to kind of create. It's very, very important to frame it for in your own mind also you get direction from this. You know who are you acting for, you know what are you working towards, and what quantification or what size of the societal slice that you are trying to reach to create what meaningful impact which can translate into quantitative. Once you have that as a frame, it's very easy to move even with your solution approach. So important lesson from this is impactful solutions begin with real problem understanding. So don't start focusing on solution and I need to develop this, hence, what I need to do, but understand problem first. Solution will evolve in any way. Also focus on, I think most important is anything that you are trying to solve in social sector, and you are, kind of building up, look at persona that is involved. So whether it is in education sector, students versus teachers versus education institutions, right? Whatever you are trying to do, you have to make sure that you are nurturing their dignity, right? Treating them as human and what respect they deserve. You are working towards a solution that will help them build up and give their choice to do what they want to do and overall restore agency. We are not here to do any charity. We are not here to do, just building tech solution. But unless you aspect these three value aspect, you embed in your approach, the meaningful impact of that will not be as much, right? So you always remember these three value principles, right? So always, and remember it happens through collaboration. So build it together with each other. Be bold, be experiment. I mean, this is your chance. And as I said, it's not about winning or losing. This you have every resources on your hand to kind of try new approaches. I try your test your ideas, and don't afraid to fail. If you look at anybody across the world who are successful people, if you look back on their history, I mean, the number of failures are far more than what they have succeeded, right? I mean, including all of us in this forum, right? And from those failures, you learn, you build your capability. So don't be afraid. It's perfectly okay to fail. In fact, that gives you change in your perspective that helps you come up or overcome your limitations, right? So it's always has to be experimentation and iteration. And of course, build responsibly. I mean, you have technology, AI in hand, follow AI ethics, use your, fairness, intuitions, be transparent in what you are doing. And also make sure within your team, as well as the problem that you consider, you have inclusive approach, right? So AI really becomes truly intelligent when it serves humanity. Keep that principle in mind. And finally, make most of it through this experience. Engage actively with mentors. As I said, we are assigning mentors to each of the teams. Ask as many questions as you can. Seek feedback, right? And it's okay if your initial direction is not in a right path, reverse, iterate, come back to the track. If you look at all the startups, I mean, India has the record of having highest number of startups. And how many startups really succeed? The percentage is very small, but most importantly is that they keep trying, right? Keep changing their models, keep changing their approach. Also ask for data sets if needed. If you want to look at, certain segment of data to kind of firm up your problem statement, please ask for it. We will try all our best to provide you as much as data possible, and connect with your fellow participants, not only within your team, but if somebody else, and we are going to enable the, discussion forums, leverage those to kind of check with each other teams as well if somebody has kind of solved some of the problem. This is about learning together. So stay curious, stay open to learning, and importantly, add your personal touch and your intuition, because this we are going to actually assess that how much your individuality you have added to your solution, right? How much of your intuition you have added, not only what AI solution or application or a product you have built, but how have you built using what, right? That's very important. So this journey of building together is very valuable to kind of build your solution. With that, I am almost done. So this is as your now innovation journey starts. Um, so your ideas could become working prototypes for many. And remember, while we are going to choose 40 final submissions out of this, uh, some of the ideas will still have may not have reached completion stage, right? But there is a potential. So kind of everything that you build is going to be valuable. Remember that for you as well as for us. So you will kind of gain new knowledge. You build your new networks in this journey with your teammates, other teams, other colleges from other cities, mentors, and so on and so forth. But most importantly, run to identify the right problem. As I said, solution will definitely evolve, and take an AI to be your aid and friend. It's not a hindrance, it's not a threat, but use that as a tool in your hand, right? And I will conclude by saying how we should treat, as take an AI is how doctors treat instruments around them, whether it's a stethoscope or whether any operation surgical instruments that they use. They are instruments which aid them to kind of make patient better. But what is most important? Right diagnosis is important, right remedy and the treatment to the patient is important. So imagine yourself, you are that. You are doctors of solving social problems. So use technology and AI as your tools and aid, but how you think and your purpose objective to make the patient better has to drive you. So the future of AI will be defined by the not by its power, but of course what purpose you choose for that. With that, I take a pause, and over to you, Yasmin.
Thank you, Miss Varsha. You have clearly explained the participants how to make the most of witch hunt, and I think now it's all their turn. So yeah, all the best participants. All right, are we getting a little serious already? Participants, a